Hey everyone, welcome back to Unlocking the Future.
Great to be back.
Today we're going to be talking about AI assistants.
Yeah, AI assistants.
They're everywhere now.
It really does feel like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like every day there's something new.
Absolutely.
So we've got 4 big players that we're going to be looking at today.
Okay.
OpenAI, Grok, Llama, and Claude.
Right. Sounds good.
Before we get into the specifics of each model, I kind of want to take a step back.
Okay.
And just think about what an AI assistant actually is.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they think about AI assistants, the first thing they think about is like Siri or Alexa.
Right.
Those voice assistants.
Sure.
But it's really so much more than that.
So how would you define what an AI assistant is?
I think it's any software system that can leverage machine learning, natural language processing, all of that, to learn from data, to interpret your requests, and then generate a response that feels very human-like.
So it's not just about fetching information.
No.
It's actually understanding it and then processing it.
Exactly.
Okay, and then I think the most interesting part to me is how they can actually do things.
Right.
They can automate tasks, they can pull up information, they can even anticipate what you need before you've asked for it.
Totally.
It's really wild.
Yeah.
So these AI assistants are already being used in tons of industries.
Oh, yeah, all over the place.
It's really fascinating.
It's kind of wild how quickly it's become so ingrained in everything we do.
Totally, yeah. So let's meet our contestants here.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about OpenAI, Grok, Llama, and Claude.
Okay.
So OpenAI is kind of like the veteran in the field. It's powered by this model called GPT-4, and it's really good at lots of things.
Yeah, it can handle text, images, even code.
Yeah, it can do it all.
It's pretty impressive.
And that's probably why it's the most widely adopted.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So then we have Grok.
So Grok is the new kid on the block.
Yeah, it was created by XAI.
Right.
And it seems to be really focused on real-time information.
It's all about the real-time data.
Like, it has a direct connection to X, the platform formerly known as Twitter.
Right.
So it has access to all of this information constantly.
Yeah, it's drinking from the fire hose.
So what does that mean in terms of what it can actually do?
Well, I mean, think about it. It can analyze the entire stream of public discourse in real time.
Wow.
So it can identify emerging trends, track public sentiment, potentially even anticipate events before they happen.
That's insane.
I know. It's really exciting for research and analysis.
Absolutely. So we have our veteran. We have that like up-and-coming real-time guy.
Yep.
What about Llama? What's Llama's deal?
So Llama is the open source tinkerer's dream. It was developed by Meta, and it's highly customizable, which makes it perfect for developers.
So you can kind of make it your own.
You can tweak it, you can tailor it to very specific needs.
That's really cool.
It is.
And then we have Claude.
Claude is all about ethics,
Okay.
developed by Anthropic, and they're really focused on fairness, responsible use. So, sensitive fields like healthcare, finance, Claude could be a really strong choice.
So it's like the ethical AI assistant.
You got it.
Okay. So it's really interesting. We have all these different personalities.
It's a diverse field for sure.
And to get a better look at how they stack up against each other, we have this comparison matrix.
Okay, yeah, let's pull that up.
So this looks at things like performance, multimodal capabilities, language support, customization, data privacy, cost, and ethical considerations.
Lots to consider.
Yeah.
It's great for getting a sense of the big picture.
Okay.
And, one of the first things that jumps out is OpenAI's performance.
Okay, so it's still the top dog
Pretty much.
in terms of how well it performed.
Mhm.
Okay. So what about the other ones? How do they compare?
Well, Grok is so new. I mean, it's still early days,
Right.
but the potential's there, especially with that real-time data access.
Absolutely.
Llama generally performs well, but, it might be a little behind OpenAI in certain areas.
Okay. So it really seems like it depends on what you're looking for.
Totally. There's no one-size-fits-all AI assistant.
Right. So let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into some of these different features.
Sure.
So when we talk about performance, what are some of the nuances there?
Well, I mean, OpenAI, like we said, consistently at the top. Grok, huge potential. Llama, pretty good generally, but might lag behind.
Okay. And what about Claude? How does its ethical focus play into how well it performs?
That's a good question. It's possible that some of the choices they've made to prioritize responsible use might mean it's not quite as fast or as versatile.
Okay.
But, for a lot of applications, those trade-offs are worth it.
Especially if you're talking about something like healthcare, where accuracy and responsible use are just absolutely crucial.
Exactly.
So speaking of responsible use, that's where Claude really shines, right?
Yeah, it's a real pioneer when it comes to ethical AI.
And are the other models making any progress in that area?
They are. OpenAI has also been pretty vocal about their commitment to responsible development.
Okay.
They've got teams working on, mitigating potential biases and risks. And Grok and Llama are still so new, but, everyone's starting to think about these ethical frameworks.
Yeah, that's great to hear. It's really important as this technology becomes more and more a part of our lives.
You're sure.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about real-world applications.
Okay.
Where do you see each of these models actually being used?
So imagine OpenAI as your go-to for content creation,
Uh,
whether it's writing articles, generating code, maybe even creating marketing material.
so it's really versatile.
Very versatile, yeah. You can also see it being used in customer service.
Yeah, like those chatbots.
Exactly.
Answering frequently asked questions.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. What about Grok?
So Grok, with its real-time data, anything that needs that real-time analysis.
Okay.
So think financial markets, where split-second decisions can make all the difference, or scientists tracking climate data, or even like monitoring the spread of diseases. There's a lot of potential there.
It's pretty incredible. So Llama, with it being open source, where does that fit in?
So Llama is perfect for developers who want to build those very customized solutions. So think niche markets, very specialized tasks. We could see it powering AI assistants in education and entertainment,
Okay.
even personal productivity.
Cool, so really specific applications.
Exactly.
And then Claude, our ethical AI, where do you see its strengths really being put to use?
So industries where responsibility is key.
Go.
Healthcare, where it could help doctors diagnose patients. Finance, assessing risk, detecting fraud. Those are areas where fairness and transparency are super important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really fascinating to see how each of them is kind of carving out its own little space in the world.
Yeah, it's like they each have their own specialty.
And this is really just the beginning.
Oh yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
So that brings us to the future of AI assistants, which is what we're going to be talking about next. So we talked about where they are now, but where do you see AI assistants going in the future?
Well, I think the big thing is that they're going to be even more integrated into our lives.
So what does that look like practically?
Imagine your AI assistant not just on your phone or computer, but actually everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, in your home, your car, at work, maybe even your clothing.
So like an AI companion that goes with you wherever you go.
Exactly. And it's more than just a voice. It can anticipate what you need. It learns your preferences. It helps you throughout the day.
That's kind of wild.
It is wild.
So what about the tech itself?
Oh, yeah. The tech is going to make huge leaps, especially in natural language processing.
Okay.
So AI assistants will get even better at understanding, responding to really complex requests.
Even with all the little nuances of human language.
Exactly. The emotions, the subtle things.
So it's not just what you say, but how you say it.
Exactly. So it becomes more natural, more intuitive, less like you're talking to a machine.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Are there other advancements that you think are going to be really important?
Well, we talked about multimodal AI, and that's going to explode.
Yeah.
So AI assistants being able to understand information from tons of sources.
Text, pictures, videos, everything.
Exactly. So it's getting a much more complete picture of the world.
Yeah.
Imagine showing your AI assistant a photo.
Okay.
It can analyze the scene, identify people, understand the emotions.
That's crazy. So really the possibilities are limitless.
Yeah. I mean, who knows where it's going to go?
So you mentioned specialized AI assistants earlier.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. We're going to have AI assistants that are specifically trained for certain industries, professions, anything you can think of.
So instead of like one AI for everything, you might have several.
Right. One for work, one for personal stuff, one for your health.
Like having a whole team of experts.
Exactly.
So we're talking about serious personalization here.
Absolutely, yeah. And that customization is just going to keep getting better.
What about data privacy?
That's a big one.
As these things get more integrated, how do we protect our information?
Well, the good news is data privacy is becoming a major focus for AI developers.
Okay, good.
They're really putting a lot of effort into privacy-preserving techniques.
Like what?
So things like federated learning.
Federated learning.
Federated learning. It basically means that AI can learn from data on multiple devices without actually collecting it in one place.
Oh, okay.
So your data stays on your device, which is great for privacy.
So it gets smarter without actually seeing my stuff.
Exactly. And then there's differential privacy,
Okay.
which basically adds noise to the data.
Noise.
Yeah, so you can't identify individuals, but the AI can still learn from the overall trends.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's really clever.
So it sounds like they're doing a lot to make sure that these things are powerful but also safe.
Definitely. And as the tech evolves, we're only going to see more creative solutions for privacy.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I think it's really important.
What about the ethical side of things?
Right, the ethics.
I mean, as AI assistants get more powerful, make decisions for us, how do we make sure they're used responsibly?
That's a huge question.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot of collaboration, technologists, ethicists, policymakers, everybody needs to be involved.
So it's not just about building smarter AI, it's about building AI that's actually good for the world.
Exactly. It's about aligning AI with our values.
Right.
So we need to address potential biases in the algorithms. We need transparency in how AI makes decisions.
So we understand what's going on.
Yeah. And clear guidelines for responsible use.
It's a big challenge.
It is a big challenge.
And it's super important.
It is. I mean, AI has the potential to do so much good.
Yeah.
But we have to make sure it's used in a way that benefits everyone.
I love that. It's not just about the tech. It's about how we use it to build a better future.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I'm really feeling inspired by this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
The potential is just incredible.
It is.
But these tools are here right now.
They are. You can start using AI assistants today.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for the future. I want to encourage our listeners to actually go out and experiment with these things.
Try them out.
See what they can do.
See how they can make your life better.
Because that's what it's all about.
It is. It's about empowering people with these amazing tools.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this part of the conversation, I want to leave our listeners with a thought.
Okay.
The future of AI is not set in stone.
That's a good point.
It's something that we are creating right now.
We all have a role to play.
We do. The choices we make individually and as a society, they're going to determine what this future looks like.
So we need to choose wisely.
Exactly. We need to embrace innovation, but we need to do it responsibly.
And we need to work together.
Yeah, to make sure that AI is used for good.
For the benefit of all humankind.
That's a great message.
Absolutely. It's a collaborative effort for sure.
It has been such a fascinating conversation.
It really has.
I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
Yeah, there's always more to learn with AI. It never stops evolving.
So before we go, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. How are you going to use this tech to shape your future?
Yeah, that's the big question. How will you use it? Will you use it to boost your productivity, to explore your creativity, or to connect with people in new ways?
So what advice would you give to our listeners who are ready to dive into this world of AI?
Don't be afraid to just try things out. There are so many great AI tools out there. Just play around with them, see what you can do. You might be surprised at what you discover.
I think that's great advice. Just jump in and start experimenting.
Exactly.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you today.
Likewise, I always enjoy these conversations.
And to all our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the future. We'll see you next time on Unlocking the Future.